And spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre says it would cut the deficit by nearly $3 trillion over 10 years, in part with tax hikes targeting corporations.
Making the wealthy and big corporations pay their fair share without raising taxes on Americans that are making less than $400,000.
Also pressing Republicans to release a plan as they call for spending cuts. The president has signed more than $5.8 trillion in government spending over the past 2 years.
The CBO says that because of that, the federal debt as it stands will rise to $46 trillion by 2033.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence. A new round of warnings about China at an annual Senate hearing on worldwide threats.
The Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, highlighted Chinese President Xi Jinping's recent comments that Western countries are suppressing them. Haines says this reflects growing pessimism in China toward the U.S.
As well as Xi's growing worries about the trajectory of China's domestic economic development and indigenous technology innovation, challenges that he now blames on the United States.
Committee Chairman Mark Warner said considering threats increasingly depends on assessing adversaries' technological capabilities. FBI Director Christopher Wray said,
technology and economic security have become inextricably intertwined with national security.
Which is why Wray said cooperation between the government and the private sector is of critical importance.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The hearing also drilling down again on the risks of TikTok's data collection. A federal jury now deciding life or death for the terrorist who killed 8 people in a truck attack on a New York City bike path. Sayfullo Saipov was convicted in January. If the jury can't agree unanimously on the death penalty, he will face life in prison. A mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 58 points, but the S&P and the Nasdaq finish higher. America is listening to Fox News.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-857-5656. That's 800-857-5656.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
The chaotic U.S. exit from Afghanistan comes into focus on Capitol Hill as the House Foreign Affairs Committee opens a hearing.
Promising a thorough review of the U.S. military's exit from Afghanistan and the operation that led to the deaths of 13 military men and women, committee chair and Texas Congressman Michael McCall says he aims to reveal who is responsible for failing to achieve 2 goals:
to protect Americans and leave no one behind.
New York Congressman Gregory Meeks said many believe it's harder to end a war than to start one, and the Afghan ending showed.
While the U.S. government planned for a wide range of contingencies, the worst possible scenario happened.
The war in Afghanistan began after 9/11 and spanned across 4 administrations before the exit in 2021.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The Fed chief spending a second day on the Hill, telling a House committee what he told senators yesterday, that more and higher rate hikes may be needed to help bring down stubborn inflation, and that price stability is the goal, even though pain can come with it. But after a sell-off yesterday, again, a mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 58. It had been a triple-digit sell-off. For the first time, Britain's Prince Harry and his wife Meghan reveal they will use royal titles for their kids.
Publicly calling daughter Lilibet Diana a princess in a statement about her christening, which took place during a private ceremony at their home in Montecito, California this past weekend. People magazine reporting Meghan's mother was at the christening, as well as godfather Tyler Perry, also citing a source that claimed despite being invited, royals from across the pond were no-shows, including Prince William, Kate Middleton, and King Charles III. His ascension to the throne is the reason the kids can have titles, because the grandchildren of the sovereign are entitled to be called Prince and Princess.
Fox's Lillian Wu. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
1, liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny. Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage, kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over.
I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielema.
You no longer salute to yourself.
What?
We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's the Drive.
Smack Dogs.
Thunderstruck. Yeah, Thunderstruck.
I mean, good morning. I know the idea here, Derek, is that I'm supposed to say, hey, I'm glad to be back from Orange Beach and the Floribama. And
you can be honest.
Sun was perfect and the weather was between 75 and 80 and the beer was cold and it was under $4, which surprised me. And they had 4 bands at all times going on, and I sat on the beach and I just looked at the water and had cold beer. But hey, I'm glad to be back.
I'm sure you are. On this cloudy, gloomy 45-degree day.
It kind of smacked me this morning when I was like, ooh, because it's not even that, it's really not that cold,
It's
right?
not bad.
But I was like, oh, yeah. You know what didn't even bother me was the 13-hour drive. Didn't bother me at all. Driving with our friends there in Alabama who don't know how to use the cruise control. I mean, you would be cruising along, and I would pass 3 cars because I'm going, let's see, it's 70. I'm going about 76. I'd pass 3 cars, and 5 seconds later, all 3 would pass me. And I'm like, well, song must have come on the radio, and they got fired up.
And then you saw him again 5 minutes later.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, we're playing like card tag here. Why don't one of us get a cruise control on and make it work? All right, good stuff today. We got Justin Bozarth. He's waiting to visit with us here on the Tapman's Towing phone line. We're going to talk to Justin about Tuscola making a trip to state in basketball. I was right out of high school, 1988. I graduated 89. That Tuscola team made it to the Elite Eight. I believe they lost to Rock Island Alleman. I think that's right. At the Assembly Hall. And, of course, now they'll be heading to State Farm Center. So we're going to talk to Justin. Right after that, Ella Masser. Do you remember Ella?
I do not, no.
Okay. Really good soccer player at Illinois. She is now coaching. She's an assistant coach for I wrote it down.
Chicago Red Stars.
That's it, Chicago Red Stars. So we're going to talk to Ella Masser and get her thoughts on the season coming up. She's excited to be coaching there again in the National Women's Soccer League. So we'll talk to her coming up in moments. Then the rest of the show, we're going to do our Big Ten draft. Did I win that last year?
We can say you did. I don't remember. But I will throw this out there. Not that I'm not planning to win it this year, but you didn't have to compete with Kyle last year. So
that's right.
That's a bigger challenge on your plate.
And I listened while I was driving yesterday to the show. He came prepared yesterday. Kyle, if you're going to do this job, you can't be that prepared. You understand?
I'm sorry.
You have to wing it sometimes.
I'll take note of that.
That or be a professional and come prepared, unlike me. So you did a good job with that. All right, without further ado, let's go. Let's hit the Tapman's Towing phone line. Justin Bozarth, Tuscola Warriors basketball coach, on with us. What's up, Justin?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on, and welcome back to work.
Yeah, right. Back to the grind, huh? I bet you guys are getting ready to do this. What is practice like a day before you go to state? What's that going to be like?
You know, we're actually at the point of the season. You try to conserve legs and just get mentally focused, and honestly, to be like completely transparent, like the practices the last couple of weeks, like guys are just get so geared up to just get to the next day so we can play a game that we're here for about an hour. It's sharp and it's crisp, and then we kind of get them out of here just so we can get to that next day.
Absolutely, and I think it's pretty cool when you look back at the history, of course. And as I mentioned, you heard me say that with guys like Steve Weimer, who went on to play at Eastern. You had Brian Hatfield, Frank Kalmar, I believe, was on that team. Matt Washburn. There were some good players that played on that Tuscola squad that made it to the Elite Eight. You guys got to the next step because now when you get to State Farm Center, there's only 4 left. So congratulations on that. And what was that like? Obviously a pretty easy win against Mounds Meridian. Does Coach Griff, is he still there?
Yes, he is.
Okay, he and I were friends. We are friends, but we were friends in college. He played ball at SIU, so I just thought of that you guys beat my buddy. What the heck? No, but congratulations there. And I guess, is it one of those where you look at it down the road and you'll say, you know what, we took another step and hopefully 2 more in the program's history to get as close as we can to a state title and hopefully win that state title? Is that something you look at later, I would assume?
Yeah, it's one of those that you kind of live in the moment, but it's obviously special. And all of those guys that you just named off from the late '80s, I think I've heard from every single one of them just about that you named off, which makes it makes Tuscola so unique, or just small towns in general so unique that you still have those connections to those guys, and those guys are still following what's going on. That's awesome. It's definitely a special time for our town and our kids. We're just enjoying the moment.
Justin, what does it mean to you to lead this Tuscola program back to Champaign for the first time since 1989?
It's just an honor to coach these guys. I mean, we get to a point where as coaches, it's my wife asks me every day, like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "No, I don't have to go out there and make any shots or anything like that." And it's just our kids just. Our kids are making plays, and they're it's just everything is about them and their willingness to work at it, to be successful, and we're just thankful as coaches that we get to be a part of the experience with them.
Is your heart still pounding from that sectional final game against Altamont when you went to 4 overtimes? And what was it like being on the sideline for that one, not having the control of being the guy that can make the shots to get that one done? But your team obviously came up clutch and got that one. But it was one of the wilder games of this state playoffs.
It was insane, and I was a sweaty mess, and of course I didn't play a single minute of the game. I can only imagine what our guys were like. But we actually in the second and third overtime, prior to the fourth overtime, we had run out of water on our bench. So all of our guys, they'd bring like 3 or 4 water bottles with them, and some of our cross-country guys drink water like crazy, and there were no water bottles. They were literally just searching near the people that were sitting by it, just grabbing these water bottles and just because everybody was so thirsty. But, fortunately, we made it through.
Yeah, I could see Jackson Barrett just firing down plenty of water on that sideline. I got to ask you this. How many times did you think you won or lost that game?
Wait, so it seemed like from the end of regulation through the first 3 overtimes, we were probably down 6. It felt like to start every single overtime.
That's crazy.
And we just, there were times where there's maybe a minute 20 to go, and we're down by 6, and all of a sudden we come down and hit a contested 3, and then get a stop on the other end, and it seemed like Jordan Quinn just kept hitting big shot after big shot, and finally, when we got to that 4th overtime, I think we got the tip, which was the first time maybe all night that we got the tip, and we went down and scored. And all of a sudden, we had a 2-point lead for what seemed like the first time. And so I think that was finally the point where I think the guys kind of looked at each other like, okay, like something's going different this overtime.
Yeah, that was the first time Justin had breathed. Had actually taken a breath in like 20 minutes. The good news is you can stay underwater a while. All right, so now you move on. Justin Bozarth, our guest here on the Tapman's Towing phone line, Tuscola Warriors basketball coach. You move on to face an interesting team, Scales Mound. This team, it's like playing Hugo, Justin. I mean, they've got 70 students in their entire school, high school. And, of course, we know what happened last year. They finished 3rd in the state tournament last year. It's just a unique thing because they've got like 5 kids that have started every game for 4 years in this small little town, and they're just good. So what do you know about them, and what are they going to present problem-wise for you guys tomorrow morning?
Well, so they're right off the bat, you kind of hit it. They're incredibly well coached.
Yes.
Because obviously they get to state last year. A lot of those starters from last year are gone, and they're doing, as a school their size, they're doing it again. Which is just probably a testament to their program and what they've got established there. So they matchup wise, I think both teams are actually kind of similar in how we play. They're a team that has good guard play, that's fundamentally sound, doesn't make a ton of mistakes. Like, you're going to have to beat them because they don't really beat themselves, so to speak. And they attack off the dribble pretty well. They've got guys that can shoot it on the perimeter when you overhelp, and it's gonna put some difficulties on our defense to be able to guard for 4 quarters. But of course, at this point, when you step on the court, everybody's got an ability to play at a high level.
Justin, you mentioned earlier Jordan Quinn stepping up huge for you guys in that sectional final. Obviously, big shoes to fill with how good his brother Jalen was for you guys and being able to go to Loyola. How has he approached just the high expectations of following in those footsteps and obviously being able to succeed in that situation?
Yeah, Jordan's unique. Like, Jordan's his own guy, and he and his brother, of course, have a great relationship, but Jordan's blazing his own path. They're a different type of basketball player. They've got probably, even though they're brothers, they've got completely different personalities. And we kind of think we think Jordan's an all-stater in the way that he's played the last couple weeks of the season. I think he's etching his name into that recognition hopefully this weekend. But he is who he is, and he's making a name for himself throughout the state.
Outside of Jordan, who else has really stepped up? I know Parker James has been really productive for you as well. What else has been key as far as the guys on your roster and those that are local, maybe didn't follow you all the way to state but want to see a local team get it done? What can they look out for beyond Jordan Quinn?
Yeah, so we're just we're really balanced. And, we've had, at different points this season, we've had 6 different guys lead us in scoring in different games. So, you talk about Jackson Barrett, Chris Boyd, Josiah Horton, Cam Sweeten, Jordan Quinn, and Parker James. They've had all at some point led us in scoring. And then we've, got a defensive-minded presence when Colton Musgrave comes in. And he's just, our senior captain who, every defensive possession means something to him, and it means nothing more than just his pride. And he leads us in that way. And, we knew going into the season we were young. In our top 8, we've got 3 sophomores, 3 juniors, and 2 seniors. And so we were going to struggle at times earlier in the year just because of our inexperience, and it was going to be a growing process. But, these guys credit, our goal all year long was, hey, let's be playing our best basketball at the end of the year. And, we went through some adversity towards the latter end of the regular season where we dropped a couple games where we thought that we maybe should have won. But those guys just stayed committed to the goal, and, we're playing our best basketball at the right time.
It's awesome. Practice in 12 minutes, so we got to get Coach going here in a second. But did you cross from Carterville into Carbondale and stand up on the bus and say, guys, Lonte made Carbondale famous? Did you say that?
Yeah, so we got down there Sunday night, and we were looking for the statue, and we couldn't find it, but I think it was, we probably just weren't looking in the right spot.
Yeah, right. It had to be. It's on the Strip, so yeah. I think you
and we didn't go near the library, so it could have been over that way.
I bring that up because you guys, I heard you tell Stevie and Diane this morning, you won't have a chance to shoot baskets, obviously, at State Farm Center until tomorrow in warm-up, so it's going to be a quick turnaround in terms of getting the depth perception, etc. But playing down at the Banterra Center, which I still refer to as the SIU Arena, at least that gave you a little bit bigger of an environment, if you will, to kind of get used to. Agree?
Yeah, it did. And what settled us in there is everybody, I think, kind of worries about the depth perception when you go to an arena that big. And Assembly Hall State Farm Center is no different. But what started this game, Parker got a little lob pass for a wide open layup to start the game, and then I think the next possession he came down and stuck a 3. And after that, you could just see everybody was like, okay, like
we can do this.
It's not that big of a deal that everybody made it out to be. So, I think that helped us. Just Parker starting off on the right foot for us, and it just not only did it calm him down, but it calmed the whole group down.
That's awesome, Justin. I had a chance to, and I know you knew this, when I was able to coach at that junior high All-State Classic over there, and I had a chance to coach 2 of the Tuscola kids, And I also had 2 kids from Taylor Ridge, Rockridge, who were 6'4", and I looked today, and all of those kids are playing at state. And I just think that's so cool because it was so cool to be around 12 kids that had never met each other, and the way they played together. I remember Mark Hatfield made a comment to me after the tournament. He's like, that is amazing how well that team played together. And he made some comment like, you did a hell of a job with that. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I mean, those kids right off the bat, and I think that speaks to a guy like Jordan and just what you have. And I recall writing each one a letter and saying, you know what, it was a pleasure to coach you. I can't wait to watch you in your high school career. And here they are. I'm going to be able to watch 4 of these guys play at the state tournament. How cool is that? So, I mean, you've got some wonderful kids there, and that's the key, isn't it?
It is, and you kind of hit it on the head. Like these guys, like they understand the game of basketball.
Yes.
And when you got a group of like-minded individuals, at times they're going to look pretty good because they've got a feel for it. They understand where each other's going to be, and it makes it fun to watch.
It's awesome. Justin Bozarth, good luck, my friend. 11:45, I believe, is the tip tomorrow morning at the State Farm Center against Scales Mound. We'll be watching, my friend.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and go Warriors.
Okay, buddy. Good job. Justin Bozarth, great stuff with him. It's funny, Derek, during that interview, my mom texted me and said, don't forget to remind everybody that Villa Grove won the state title in basketball in 1923. That's just what we have to do, right? That's what rivals do. You got to, remind them of that. Of course, Tuscola's gone on to some pretty stinking good years in football and everything else. And, of course, Justin has that basketball squad rolling at a very high level. And as he mentioned, only 2 seniors. So this team's not going anywhere next season, that is for sure. All right, we got to catch a break. When we come back, Ella Masser played soccer at Illinois. She actually was a walk-on at Illinois, which is amazing. Now she's going to be an assistant coach of the Chicago Red Stars in the National Women's Soccer League, and we will visit with her when we return. It is The Drive.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, and vicinity, and a little precursor weather system that'll come on by here for the day tomorrow.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Cleveland. I am a licensed occupational therapist at OSF Healthcare. It's an honor to be a part of a great team helping patients restore participation in meaningful activities of daily living through a personalized therapeutic intervention. OSF Healthcare offers Champaign County outpatient occupational therapy services in our main building of OSF Heart of Mary Medical Center. As an occupational therapist, I am very passionate about helping patients recover from strokes, brain injuries, and upper extremity injuries. One of our unique offerings is helping those diagnosed with Parkinson's to improve their function and confidence in their daily activities through a specialized research-based program called LSVT Big. If you or a loved one could benefit from our occupational therapy services, please call 217-337-2377. For more information, visit osfhealthcare.org.
In an ever-changing real estate market, it is so important to work with experienced agents like Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor teams at Taylor Realty Associates. They have the knowledge and expertise to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Trust the experience and success of Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor team at Taylor Realty Associates. Give them a call today at 217-355-0700 or visit them online at taylorboys.com. That's taylorboys.com.
Rescue workers face death every day, and far too often their families lose them while they're helping you on the road. When you see emergency lights flashing, you must slow down and move over to the far lane. That includes red, blue, and orange lights. If you hit someone on the road, you'll be charged with a felony. That means jail time. Help us keep our families safe when we're out helping yours. When the lights are flashing, use caution passing. Let's all go home safe tonight.
Brought to you by Tapman's Towing.
PDR Automotive has now been serving the Champaign-Urbana area for over 50 years. To give you some perspective, 50 years ago ended the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, and it was when Secretariat won the Triple Crown. So what does that mean for you and your vehicle? Whether you need a carburetor overhauled or your new vehicle computer system diagnosed or programmed, PDR Automotive has the experienced, knowledgeable staff that can handle all your automotive needs. Online at pdrauto.com, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Hi, this is Steve from Good Vibes.
And this is Luke Goody from your men's basketball team.
Luke, it's great to have you back on the floor. We hope to see a lot of you in March.
I was pretty sure we'd get postseason games this year. That's why I hung in there.
Well, I guess you watch hours of basketball, but what about other sports?
I watch football and baseball, even golf if it's good.
You know, DirecTV's #1 in sports programming.
I know they have great sports, but I can't put a dish up at my place.
You have internet, right?
Yeah.
DirecTV streaming gets you more sports than cable for a better price with no contract.
Wait, what? DirecTV's not a satellite?
DirecTV has satellite, but streaming's the thing. It works in apartments and condos wherever there's Wi-Fi.
I can get BTN and the Cardinals?
DirecTV had BTN first, and the networks that carry Cubs and Cards are included in the Choice Plus package. Plans start at $74.99 a month.
Let me guess, I can get DirecTV streaming from Good Vibes.
Nothing gets by you, huh, Luke?
Hey, Illini fans, it's your girl, Chineo Gumake. Catch Lante and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Oh, by the way, it's The Drive with saying Piper Lante, Derek Piper. Now that I was gone for 2 days, did Kyle just kind of take over, or what? Is he like? Can you just sense the idea?
Oh
that
yeah, he's
ready
settled
to,
in.
Okay, yeah, I knew it. He did print off a Big Ten bracket for me, forgetting I was 52 years old, and I looked down at it and I'm like, "You think I'm going to read that?" So he was able to print it larger for the old man in the room. So listen, you guys, it's nice to be young, but now you got to take care of me. So, you know.
You might have been better off just blindly picking the games based on how this conference has gone this year.
That is true. And honestly, based on how I usually pick them, I'm usually dead last between you and Trevor. So now Kyle gets to come in and get a little bit of this exposure as well. So we will get that done today. We will predict the Big Ten bracket and also talk some Illinois as they get set to face Penn State tomorrow night, 5 o'clock in Chicago. Are you leaving tonight or are you?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Bright and early.
Okay. Heading up to the UC. Not going to be up there for tonight's games. But, all right, before we start talking a bunch of basketball, again, since we talked to Justin, I keep saying Jordan Bozarth, Justin Bozarth, it is time to talk some soccer. And with Ella Masser, former Urbana stud, and then walk-on at the University of Illinois, who just went on to win Player of the Year in the Big Ten and become All-American. Ella, how are you?
Good. I'm actually in that Chicago traffic you guys are talking about as we speak. So I'll equate that to the basketball.
It always amazes me that it can be 9 a.m., midnight, or 5 p.m., and there's traffic nonstop in Chicago. I don't get it. I never have understood that.
Nonstop. I have not missed this. I've missed, the U.S., but this is something I can't say that was on the top 10.
I would imagine. I can't imagine. Well, you're in Chicago because you are Coach Masser now, and of course coaching.
That's right.
That's right. Coaching the Chicago Red Stars. How excited are you to be with a team? Now you're coaching a team that you used to play for.
Yeah, I mean, I was asked this a couple weeks ago, and it's just, I mean, it's definitely a respect because I know from my own personal experience what it takes to be in that locker room, but also I need to respect about how much the game has grown. And also, we talk about it as we get older, the different generations and how to coach. So it's a big learning curve, but to be back here, to have my family around, be back in Illinois, being proud to represent the 217 number, it's definitely a bit special for sure.
How have you seen the women's soccer game grow? You, of course, played professionally for about 15 years, and to come back and coach in this league here in the U.S., how is, from your vantage point, how has women's soccer grown in the U.S.? Of course, a lot of attention and hype, deservedly so, for the women's national team that's really captured the hearts of people in this country. How have you seen the game grow, though, as a player and now from the coaching side?
I mean, when I was here, we played at Benedictine, which is a small school up here, and then last night I just got back from being 10 days in Bradenton and IMG for a preseason camp. I mean, I think that probably sums up the growth and what these women deserve. I mean, they're finally being treated like pro athletes. On the national team spectrum, we have Mal Pugh and Alyssa Nairn, Alyssa Nairn has been the number one for them for the last, 5 or 6 years, and Mal Pugh is the future, a 24-year-old kid, which is just scary. And someone as you coach, he's like, what do you think here, Ellen? I'm like, okay, make this little adjustment. And then next time we're doing a shoot technique drill, for example, he makes that adjustment. So it's just fun to see how good these young women are and how much they are able to dedicate their lives to being pro athletes, which I wish we would have had, back in my time. And I think at the end of my career I had that, but it was in Europe. So it's just nice to see that these women are probably here and they're able to, say I'm a pro athlete and I should be respected as the Chicago Bulls, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Cubs, the White Sox. So for me, that's the coolest part. In off season when I was here, for example, I painted the office of the Chicago Red Stars, and now he's going to get to go to Hawaii. So it's definitely a full circle, put it that way.
You mentioned Mal Pugh, now Mal Swanson, married to Danzy Swanson there in the off season. People really got familiar with her 2019 World Cup, and now really making some noise with the USA team, and of course a focal point of your squad. How have you seen her game grow, and just how gifted of a player is she?
Yeah, we joked that the best signing we had in the offseason was her husband to Chicago. But for her, she said in a recent interview, I think, it was just about how she talked to her husband, and he was saying, everything you need to do needs to be intentional. And again, Mal has every right to be the superstar. I've dealt with the superstars of my era, and she's just a really humble kid that wants to continue to grow her game, and it's exciting to see because she is just, there's no other way to put it. She's lethal in the box, and we might have seen that last year. I remember I was at Kansas City, and she scored 3 goals against us, so I've seen it firsthand.
Wow.
But just seeing her show up in practice, she definitely took those words to heart. She's intentional. We watched some film in Tampa when we were down there, and she really listens to it. And she's a coachable young player, and she doesn't have to be, put it that way.
Ella Masser is our guest, Tapman's Towing phone line. Tell me what exactly an assistant coach in soccer does during a match. Because now listen, Ella, I'm not going to lie to you. The World Cup is where I get geeked out about soccer, and then I just kind of drift away. Now, obviously, St. Louis now has a team, and I'm not a Chicago Cub fan, so I'm a Cardinals fan. Although now that I know you're with the Red Stars, I'm going to be following along for sure. But, during the match, you guys obviously are coaching, but it's just back and forth. It's not like you call timeout and go sit on the bench for a while. So what do you exactly do during a match?
You know what? To be fair, our easiest days in the week are match day -1 and match days, because they are, and I might take some credit for that, but I'm meaning is that until that point, we have done everything we can to give these girls the tactical breakdown of how we think the play is going to, how the other team's going to play, where we can break down the team. There's always a line of you don't want to stray too far of what makes you great to adjust to the other team. And I think the best players at this stage and at this professional level is that they're best when they don't think.
Right.
So it's I think coaching up to that, and then when the game comes, is making them feel, as well as you can prepared for what the other team's going to formation-wise, where the gaps, where the space look for. And then it's just little adjustments. So, Mal, for example, we watched film on her turning more and facing the game in the pocket. And we just played 2 days ago against the boys team, U15, U16. And, it's just 2 or 3, 10 minutes in the game. Hey, Mal, you can turn a bit more here. Or, okay, you can take 1 or 2 more touches. You have more time. Look at it's just little things that you see. But really, it's just about trying to get them to express themselves the best they can and not think, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. And I hope I wasn't, thinking you don't do anything during a match, but I just have always wondered that. I've always wondered, because soccer is one thing that I've never attended in person to where you can kind of see everything develop behind the scenes a little bit. So I think that was a great answer. I want to take Ella Masser back to Urbana, Illinois. Did you know, as good as you were, 92 goals, by the way, did you just sometimes kick it backwards just to have fun and score? But did you know soccer was going to take you to where it has taken you now?
No, absolutely not. I never thought it. I'm 36 now, 37 in a month's time, and I never thought I'd say, okay, I've lived in 8 different countries.
Wow.
And I can speak 4 languages. And that's something that you guys know my dad. He's been in that, the Chambana community for a long time, and it's unfortunate we lost him, but, that was always my time that I got to connect with him on the field, and he was with me, and I think my dad would have loved to have the same career and journey, because that was, his dream for us to be a professional football in the world. And I'm just so thankful I got the opportunity. And you know what? To be fair, to be a good pro, you need luck. And I just happen to have the luck at the right moments.
Ella, how do you go from being a walk-on to an All-American?
No doubt.
A lot of stubborn moments. I equate Janet Rayfield. I mean, she's still a mentor of mine. I've bounced so many ideas off of her. But definitely stubborn. Again, like I said, you need luck. I always had the gift of probably my father's and mother's athleticism, and I think I was actually something I talk about now to these kids is that, U14, I was playing basketball. I was playing American football with the boys. So I didn't focus in on my craft, but I think that allowed me in college to actually be able to focus in with the right resources to become the best and not get burnt out too early. And then it was just building on that chip throughout my career.
As you look back on your professional career, like I said, 15 years, you played for PSG at one point, a very prominent soccer club over there in France. Any moments that really stick out in your head as the highlights of your professional days?
Yeah, 2019 playing in Kyiv in the Champions League final. I mean, it's for a non-American. I mean, I had my one cap for the U.S. That was for sure one. We played in front of 70,000 people. And I always joke, at first I was like, I only got one cap. That's not really impressive. But then you realize in the long, I was in with them for 6 months, and I got that, and so many world-class players never get the opportunity. So for U.S. and then playing in the Champions League final, when you don't have a U.S. national team behind you, it's the highest honor you can get for just a domestic player. And to have that, plus with the women I was alongside of, that was definitely a pinnacle of my career, I would say. And at 33, I mean, that's not a normal route to go on. Most people retire by that time, and I was able to stick with it and prove myself in Europe and then get that opportunity.
That is incredible. I can't wait. Can fill us in on the Chicago Red Stars? You said obviously you're down in Bradenton at IMG getting ready for the season. Now you're back in Chicago. That tells me that things are getting ready to heat up?
Oh, yeah. We're off in San Diego in 2 weeks. So we got back here. It's supposed to snow this weekend. Not looking forward to that again. We're March. But it's good. I mean, again, as a coach, and only I think coaches can understand that. I mean, you're in the office preparing for 2-hour training.
Sure.
For hours before and hours after. So it's just trying to adapt. And then also, being a mom and being home and having family. My mom's been up here for the last couple of weeks trying to help out. So it's just mixing that all in and then just trying to enjoy this journey, because once the games start, that's when you're like, okay, did we do the right things? And we make absolute mistakes. And then, you just try to prepare and enjoy it as much as you can, because it goes quick. It goes really quick.
I love how your mom just happened to come up so she can be with the baby 100 hours a day, right? I'm sure this is really tough on her right now, Ella.
You know what? She just took off for Europe for a month, so I get she's showing me with her actions. She needed a break.
had to put Grandma through the ringer to see how she was going to hang up or hold up.
Yeah, and then she just left. She left. She's like, I'm in Europe for a month. Nice seeing you. Thanks, Mom. It's good. Appreciate it.
That is so awesome. All right, so you just this is my last one. You just said you're heading out to San Diego. Obviously, start season. Tell me some of the countries that you have played in.
I can just go down from Norway to Sweden to Denmark to Germany to France, and then I've been in Spain the last 2.5 years coaching and having my little boy. So I've taken in, soaked in all of it all the way down. I didn't get to Portugal, but and Italy would probably be a dream. Yeah. But I've gotten a good chunk of modern Europe, I would say.
That is so cool. And then finally, besides English, what other 3 languages can you say or speak?
So I can do it this way. I got my A license, which is like your coaching bag in Sweden. So I can do Swedish, then Germany, and then obviously being in Spain, I have like a B1, B2 class level. Now people are always like, oh, are you fluent? And I can speak football, I can speak family, and I can get by and all. But I would say those probably 3 plus English obviously are those are my key. And Germany and Spanish are definitely the front runners.
Wow. Well, Ella, in my opinion, you've underachieved in life, so hopefully you can. You got more time here to get things done.
I got a couple left,
It is just amazing, the resume and everything that you've put together. This is the first time I've had a chance to actually talk with you, and you don't know this, but from afar, I just always loved following your career at the University of Illinois and how good you were. and to really help put soccer back on the map there at Illinois. So congratulations on everything you did in college and Urbana and the pros and everything else you've done. My goodness.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, Ron. I appreciate it. And you know what? I haven't been home. Like, I didn't get to come home that much the last 10 years, and I just can't. Like, the thing that shocks me most about Illinois and how much it's changed the campus is that we have a Target on Green Street. Like, I don't think people can understand having a Target on Green Street, how far the university has developed in the last 10 years at the same time. It still is mind-boggling, you know? It's just, bigger and better, I guess.
That is so. It took me a second. I was like, wait, a Target. And I was like, oh, the store, a Target. Yeah. You're right. Things are happening down here, Ella. So you'll have to get back home. Well, Ella Masser, thank you so much, and good luck on the season. We'll be following along.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
That is awesome. So 4 languages. She's been all over Europe. She played 15 years professionally. Now she's coaching. Yeah.
She was a walk-on to Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
92 goals she scored in high school, according to Wikipedia. Now, this is not according to Lante, and I didn't call Urbana and try to get a lot of these things, but she scored 40 goals in one season. So, I mean, that is wow. And then, of course, in 2006, Offensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten, second-team All-American, and then her senior year, she was first-team Big Ten, first-team All-American for a walk-on. And that's what you had mentioned.
Yeah.
For her to she's just obviously extremely athletic, and not only that, crafted her profession by hard work, I would assume, and just cool. That's so cool.
And now coaching one of the young stars in the U.S., and Mallory Swanson.
That was I had forgotten when you said her name. What was her? Not Swanson, but it was
Pugh. Mallory
That's
Pugh.
right. That's right. Because I can remember you talking about her when that World Cup rolled around, and you're just like you've got to watch her play. So that's so cool. So, well, listen, that was fun. That was fun to talk to Ella. Certainly, I mean, you talk about one of the more accomplished athletes / people that have come from Central Illinois, and Urbana High School and Urbana, Illinois should be extremely proud of having Ella Masser on the resume there as one of theirs. So, all right, here we go. When we come back, let's talk a little basketball. I want to pick your brains. I know you guys talked a little bit on the all Big Ten teams and such. I heard you mentioning that about Coleman Hawkins, and I heard Kyle just absolutely go on essentially what do you call that what do you write to get your master's? A thesis? Mm-hmm. He essentially had a thesis on Coleman Hawkins and why he should be all Big Ten, and I know Brad Underwood mentioned that as well. We've got a soundbite from Brad talking about Coleman himself. So we'll do all that, and then next hour we go through the bracket and predict.
We need to come up with a scoring system.
Oh.
Because I know that in the past, I think we've weighted games as far as wins later in the tournament, because we're going to draft these teams and try to come up with the best collection of point scorers through the teams that we select.
Gotcha.
So, got some ideas. We'll break that down as we go along.
Ooh, I like this. Okay, we'll do that as we roll. I need to do some work, and I want to apologize to Busey. We normally get this done before, but we had to get Ella Masser on. She was like literally waiting on us as they have practice. So I wanted to make sure I got that in, but now it's time to get Busey in. Speaking of Ella and all her traveling, whether you want to travel, move to a warmer clime, yes, or invest in a hobby, you got to have dreams for retirement, but you also have to have some money. And Busey Wealth Management recommends you saving 10 to 15% of your annual income, and you can do that through a couple of different ways. Obviously, you can just put it under the mattress or bury it in the backyard, but I don't know that I'd recommend that. Obviously, there's a 401k. If your work or job has this, make sure to do it. Some employers will match as well, so make sure you're getting as much money as you can into that 401k. Busey Wealth Management experts say you should save 10 to 15% of your annual income. So if you're like me, you'd have to get a calculator out, figure out what that would be. Another thing you could do is the individual retirement account. That is an IRA. There's a couple of different IRAs, a traditional and a Roth, and Busey Wealth Management can help you with all of those. The key here is to save. So talk to Busey Wealth Management professionals. They'll help you determine which is best for your strategy They can do it all. Call 1-800-67-BUSY or visit any Busey location today. Busey, member FDIC. We're back. It's The Drive.
Here's what somebody recently said at Pards in Urbana. I was there just a few minutes, and somebody came up and asked if I needed help. And they were incredible, helping me find the size of boot I needed. And then I bought a second pair, too. Everything was friendly. Everything was excellent. Visit Pards in Urbana, 206 North Maple, between Main and University in Urbana. It's Pards Western Shop since 1968. Or go online and visit pards.com, pards.com.
US 1059 is your home for the Chicago Cubs. Would you like to get messages about your business out to MLB fans? Plus, the St. Louis Cardinals are across the hallway at Stevie J Broadcasting on ESPN 935. Get details now on the baseball packages by emailing diane.ducey@sjbroadcasting.com.
Celebrate St. Patty's Day at Opia's all day with $3.50 pints, $5 25-ounce mugs of green beer, and George Killian's Irish Red. Don't forget the big $5 Guinness Pub draft cans either. Enjoy $5 whiskey drinks, shots, or a flight of 4 special whiskeys for just $16. Pia's will be serving up its famous fish and chips and Irish nachos throughout the festive day on March 17th. Watch all the NCAA basketball action, grab some green beads, hats, t-shirts, and be Irish for the day at Pia's. Pia's at Springfield and Madison, Champaign.
Hey Scarlett, do you want to go to the CU Autism Walk with me? What is that? It's a sensory-friendly event with a mobile sensory museum, inflatables, food, and more. Sounds like fun. When is it?
The 12th Annual CU Autism Network and Resource Fair is April 15th from 11:30 to 2:30 at the Savoy Rec Center at 402 West Graham in Savoy. Registration starts at 11:30. Walk begins at 2.
This event is open to everyone. For more information, see cuautismnetwork.org.
Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar presents Lucky Who with St. Patrick's Day specials March 17th and 18th. Enjoy Irish favorites like a Reuben sandwich with fries or corned beef and cabbage with new potatoes and creamy horseradish sauce. Of course, there's Guinness, Irish coffee, and greenlit pitchers. Food available for dine-in or carry-out. Call 217-819-5005 for your St. Patrick's Day festivities. Houlihan's, located at 1900 South 1st Street in Champaign.
Are you looking for a better job in a dynamic family-owned company? Altamont Company is hiring, searching for a few great people to join operations in Thomasboro or Rantoul. Altamont offers you a full-time position, not part-time, with available shifts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., and Monday through Thursdays, 8 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., offering benefits including health and dental and simple IRA retirement plans. Available jobs at Altamont Company include hand sanders and wood prep. No experience is necessary. Altamont trains on site. Apply online at altamontco.com. Resumes welcome at hr.altamont@gmail.com. On-site applications available. 901 North Church in Thomasboro. Altamont Company, an equal opportunity employer.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is not a one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is that we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
It's time to travel. Hi, it's Stevie J, inviting you to join Mary Beth Karasik for our trip to Arkansas, coming up April 18th to the 23rd. Enjoy Little Rock and Bentonville, and enjoy the P. Allen Smith Garden Home, the tour of the Walmart Museum, and visit the Clinton Presidential Library. Also a play and dinner and numerous incredible museums. There's still room for you. It's our trip to Arkansas. Just go to StevieJTravel.com. That's StevieJayTravel.com. Stevie J Travel, where do you want to go?
Gear up to support your Fighting Illini basketball team this season at the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, Game Day Spirit. Shop their great selection of basketball t-shirts, sweatshirts, and NIL jerseys as you cheer on your Fighting Illini. Visit them at the corner of 6th and Green in Campustown Neil and Kirby in Champaign, or online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Georgia B. Catch my boys Lante and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Drive. Boom, boom, brr.
And you just made me realize something, Derek, that we have to talk about Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, you hate that guy.
I can't stand him. First of all,
I think I just gave you another reason to.
No Illinois baseball fan should ever like Dansby Swanson, who he of his Vanderbilt squad came in and beat Illinois. The one, I don't want to say it like that. I mean, Dan's had great teams, but that I really thought Illinois was destined for the College World Series.
Was David Price on that team or no?
They had the kid Carson Fulmer.
Okay.
Price
was probably years before that.
Yeah, I think so. I think I would have known that. In other words, but I remember going over there, and Jeremy, we got to each interview a Vanderbilt kid, and so Jeremy talked to Carson Fulmer, who then ended up playing for his White Sox, right? And then Lon interviewed Dansby Swanson, and I thought, he seems like a good kid. And then he goes like 19 for 20 against the Cardinals one year in a Braves uniform in the playoffs, and I'm like, we can't get the 8-hitter out in this lineup, and now he's like a 4-hitter. I don't know, Kyle, where's he going to hit in the lineup?
It's hard to say. I think he'll probably hit near the top.
Okay, yeah, I would assume.
I think he's been hitting second in spring training.
That makes sense. Because like all of a sudden now he hits for power, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
Hopefully he goes 19 of 20 against the Cardinals this year. That'd be nice.
He loves Cardinals pitching.
You know, I didn't realize this until recently, digging through some projected starting lineups. I totally forgot, and we never talked about it on the show, now that it's a huge headliner signing, but the Cubs have Eric Hosmer.
Oh, I know, who kills the Cardinals. When he played second base for the Brewers. Isn't Hosmer?
Oh, you're thinking of Moustakas.
Oh, I'm thinking of Moustakas. Hold on.
I know from that Kansas City Royals World Series team.
That's my bad. But I do know who Hosmer is. But you're right. I was totally focused in on Moustakas. Yeah, I mean, Hosmer's been a guy. I love how we always say that, though, like he kills Cardinals pitching. I don't know what Dansby Swanson's career average versus the Cardinals might be 175. But in that one series, we couldn't get him out. So then
now I have to look it up.
Yeah,
I have to.
Then that constitutes the fact that he kills Cardinals pitching. You got to look up him and Hosmer. I like what the Cubs did. I really, really like what the Cubs did. Even I'm mad, Kyle, at you and your organization for getting rid of Wilson Contreras. Now I'm happy where he landed, but I just think you should have gone all out to keep him. However, that said, I like your catcher now. That's the kid, right, from the Reds?
Tucker Barnhart. And Jan Gomes are in a platoon, I guess.
I expected more out of Jan last year and didn't see it. I thought he'd have a better year
He's
last
a backup. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Tucker Barnhart, is he the kid that hit 4 home runs against the Cardinals in one game? That happened, right? Can you Google that, Kyle? What Cincinnati Red? Look at me telling.
Wasn't it the?
It wasn't Barnhart.
Was it their outfielder?
I thought it was a little.
Was it
Aquino?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Who? That doesn't sound right.
Maybe it was Barnhart.
I don't think it was Barnhart either.
It was Scooter Gennett.
That's it. Because I was about ready to say he had like this cool, like weird name. Scooter. Whatever happened to Scooter Gennett? I wonder. He's given like Jeep rides in the desert in Arizona. Like, guys, you're going to go see the Grand Canyon. Here's your guide, Scooter.
And fun fact, he hit 4 home runs in a game against the St. Louis Cardinals.
He's got the bandana on. You know, he doesn't have his shirt on. He's ripped. And he's like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Scooter. Make sure you grab a couple of waters. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go around the brim of, is it called a brim or a rim, I guess, of the canyon. I think it'd be cool, man.
He's retired, so he might be doing that.
I'm telling you. He's either that or he's teaching surfing down in Florida somewhere. Scooter Gennett.
All right, so Dansby Swanson, career against the Cardinals, 223.
Oh, wow, he doesn't hit us.
3 home runs, 4 doubles, 16 RBIs.
Year.
I don't know if that counts. I'll look up his postseason that one year against the Redbirds, but Eric Hosmer, career against the Cardinals, 230 hitter.
Oh, my gosh.
Moustakas, 242, 9 home runs, 26 RBIs. Nothing crazy.
This makes me feel so much better going into a season facing Dansby Swanson, who, Kyle, only hits .232 against the Cardinals.
Everything is awesome.
When we're getting Dansby out every game.
Everything is awesome.
Swing and a miss. Swanson strikes out. Yeah.
Okay, 2019 NLDS against the Cardinals. He went 7 for 18, 3 doubles, and hit .389 in that series against the Redbirds. So,
and he walked a bunch, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe not.
Walked once.
Oh, okay.
But it felt insurmountable.
That was awesome. He walked a bunch. Walked once. That even rhymed. That even rhymed as we went along. All right, I am so excited that we replaced Trevor with another Cubs fan, so that
we needed it. We needed it.
Yeah, we did. We did. We honestly, Pipes, you and I do get a little bit. We get a little bit one-sided sometimes on the Cardinals, but depending on the season, like when the Cubs
We've
were
never
really
heard
good,
that from the text line.
No.
I don't think anybody said that to us. We just kind of always had the feel that if those out there voice their opinion, they'd think we're leaning a little towards the Cardinals. But.
Just slightly. Just slightly. I love it. Now, the year the Cubs won the World Series, we were all about the Cubs. That's true, weren't we? Maybe not.
I wasn't here.
Oh. Well, then there's really no proof to it. Well, there probably is.
I find it hard to believe.
Yeah, I honestly, we've talked about the Cubbies every day. Would that have been Carp? Okay, never mind. We didn't talk about the Cubs. We were probably talking about like Rolling Stones or something other than sports.
We'll just say we did.
Yeah, we'll just say we did. That's right. That was perfect to have a Yankees fan, Carp, and a Cardinals fan talking good about the Chicago Cubs. Ugh. All right, next hour, we'll hear from Brad Underwood a little bit. He met with the media yesterday.
He did.
And then we have our
talked to Luke Goody from the team bus. They're driving up to Chicago.
Yeah, I heard it. The power of me flipping on my phone to listen live on SJ Broadcasting.
Look at you now.
Look at me, man. He's made it in life. All right, Illinois Hoops chatter next drive.
Join the U of I Alumni Association today. With your annual membership fee, new members will enjoy discounts to Illini merchandise and tickets, career counseling, continuing education, and many more benefits. In addition, the Alumni Association has worked hard building the Alma Market, where visitors can shop Illini-owned businesses and support their favorite local retailers in Champaign-Urbana. For details on these exciting new ventures connecting our Illini community, visit uiaa.org. Go Illini!
If you're looking for a pre-owned car, truck, or van, look no further than Sarah Champagne. You know them for their 5 incredible vehicle brands, the BMW, Honda, Subaru, Buick, and GMC. But did you know they also have over 100 used cars, trucks, and vans in stock right now? And at Sarah Champagne, they will take care of you. You can trust them. And prices begin at under $2,000. Stop by Sarah Champagne. They're at Burwash in Savoy, or go online, sarahchampagne.com. That's Sarah, SERRA, champagne.com.
Winter is in full swing, and at Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, they want to help you upgrade and save. When you buy a Lennox home comfort system, you get a choice. Decide between a free water heater or a $500 Visa gift card. No qualifications necessary, and 0% financing is available. Give Dogtown a call today at 217-841-4728. Schedule a free in-home consultation and take advantage of this great sale. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend.
By now, you've all heard the expression, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 for PDR Automotive. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR. But who are they? They, the PDR staff, understand that a name is only as good as the people that represent it. The PDR staff has more than 335 years of combined automotive experience, several employees now on staff for more than 25 years. PDR, more than just a name. Family owned and operated, now celebrating over 50 years in business.
Carpet Weavers is flooring their customers. They work with the biggest brands to bring you the best selections and prices on hardwood, luxury tile, carpet, and more. Stop in at 616 West Market View Drive in Champaign and let one of their sales associates help you find the perfect flooring for your lifestyle. Their 100% satisfaction guarantee allows you to be confident in your purchase. Carpet Weavers has been flooring people with beautiful carpet and flooring since 1988. In fact, they're nationally ranked as one of the top 25 specialty flooring stores in the country. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Brady, Fox News. A consent decree signed in Louisville outlining more than 30 steps for police to follow as a Justice Department probe finds a pattern of abuse. The review was launched after the death of Breonna Taylor in a police raid.
I don't even know what to think, to know that this thing should have never happened and that it took 3 years for anybody else to say that it shouldn't have.
Taylor's mother also expressing doubt about the new recommendations being followed. The report accuses police of racial discrimination, excessive force, and other abuses. The Justice Department launching a new review of Memphis police policies after the traffic stop beating of Tyree Nichols. His death led to murder charges against 5 fired officers, and the Memphis mayor and police chief requested the DOJ probe announced today. An annual hearing on worldwide threats focusing a lot on China, including potential security risks from the Chinese-owned app TikTok. FBI Director Christopher Wray answering these questions from Republican Senator Marco Rubio.
Could they use TikTok to control data on millions of users? Yes. Could they use it to control the software on millions of devices given the opportunity to do so? Yes. Could they use it to drive narratives, like to divide Americans against each other? Yes.
Each intelligence chief at that hearing also agreeing with the committee chairman, Mark Warner, who says whoever dominates the tech landscape, including critical minerals, will be the most competitive. The White House pressing Republicans again to be specific as they call for spending cuts.
We are calling on them to show us what's in your budget. How is it going to be transparent? Is it going to be fiscally responsible?
Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre as the president prepares to unveil his budget plan tomorrow with a speech in Philadelphia. America is listening to Fox News.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-857-5656. That's 800-857-5656.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When the U.S. starts telling another country to end the war now, it's time to take a hard look at your own protection plan. If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, it's time to act. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. Call 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
A top U.S. intelligence official says the Russian president thinks time is on his side.
Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines told the Senate Intelligence Committee at their annual worldwide threats hearing that Russia's war in Ukraine has become one of attrition. Neither side has a clear military advantage and that Russians are low on personnel, ammunition, and morale.
And if Russia does not initiate a mandatory mobilization and identify substantial third-party ammunition supplies, it will be increasingly challenging for them to sustain even the current level of offensive operations in the coming months.
Adding that China's deepening ties with Russia have become an area of intense focus for the intelligence community. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Winter has a ways to go.
Another round of snow could soon blanket the northern plains, including the Dakotas and the state of Minnesota. In Fargo, already more than 15 inches of snow are on the ground, with another 5 to 8 inches expected to fall by Saturday.
Fox Weather's Nicole Valdez in Fargo. A second system could dump several inches on parts of the Northeast Friday. 2 college basketball players are suing over the lack of athletic scholarships in one conference.
Grace Kirk, a member of the Brown University women's basketball team, and Tamanang Cho, a former member of the men's team, are seeking class action status for their federal lawsuit, arguing Ivy League schools illegally conspired to limit financial aid and not compensate student athletes for their services in what attorneys say amounts to a price-fixing agreement. The Ivy League, which includes the likes of Brown, Harvard, and Yale, does not offer merit scholarships of any kind, including athletic scholarships. A spokesperson for the Ivy League defended the decades-old scholarship policy, noting other opportunities only available to athletes through their schools. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
A better day on Wall Street, but the Dow still finishes down 58 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ, though, finish in the green. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, and vicinity, and a little precursor weather system that'll come on by here for the day tomorrow already in advance across sections of the Mississippi Valley. Conceivable a couple of wet snowflakes or sprinkles may brush on by to the west and south here for this morning. Not much sun for the day today, and that chilly northeast to east wind continues on. No real spring feel expected around here anytime soon going forward. 47, the expected high for the day today, and that northeast to east wind down tonight to 32. And mainly cloudy, windy for the day tomorrow. We'll get into some rain tomorrow afternoon with a high near 46 degrees. A couple of rainy spells tomorrow night, low down to 37. Nothing heavy or strong about this weather system. May linger, but a little rain early and late today. On Friday, variably cloudy skies, breezy, and a high up to 45. Some chilly weather for the weekend at 42 Saturday, 39 on Sunday. A little bit of rain, maybe some wet snow mixed in early in the day. Then highs just in the upper 30s for Monday and Tuesday of next week. Back up around 40 next Wednesday. Overnight readings down into the mid to upper 20s. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny.
Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage. I'm kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over. I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now.
I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielma.
You no longer salute to yourself.
What? We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Smack Dogs.
Thunderstruck. Yeah, Thunderstruck.
Good evening, everybody. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. The Drive would say, and Piper, that was a fun and guesty first hour. Justin Bozarth, Tuscola basketball coach. He was joining us on the Tapman's Towing phone line. Justin and the Warriors are in the Final Four of the Class 1A state basketball playoffs. They'll face Scales Mound, which is just a small little town, small little school. 70 kids in their high school. That's it. 70. And they were there last year, finished third, so obviously brought a lot back. So that's who Tuscola has tomorrow at 11:45. They're at State Farm Center. And then we had Ella Masser, who is from Urbana originally. And how many years did you say she played professional soccer?
15.
15 years. And a walk-on at Illinois that went on to win Offensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten. She was also first-team All-American, first-team Big Ten. Just had an unbelievable career at Illinois and then has just gone on to have even better things, and now is an assistant coach with the Chicago Red Stars. So kind of cool. Like, I'm trying my hardest to get into soccer. Like, let's be honest. Like I told Cliff in Urbana, it's not going to, like, supersede NHL, right? All of a sudden I'm like, I'll make soccer my fourth. But I'm trying to at least kind of jump in and try to learn it a little bit more. Not even learn it. I'm trying to become a fan of a team. Just one team. Because I think that's the key. Like in the NBA.
Even if it's casual. Even if it's kind of bandwagon. Because I was a bandwagon Blackhawks fan for a while. And it was fun just to jump in and watch some games and get into it.
Because then you learn the sport more. You learn the sport better. And that's kind of the storyline I've got with the St. Louis Soccer Club, SC, and of course they're 2-0. 2-0 out of the gates. I know Cliff went to the opener, which was this past Saturday down in St. Louis. They absolutely sold out that stadium.
The stadium looks pretty cool.
It looks cool. I drove by it when we played down in, Edwardsville this summer in baseball. I drove by it a few times and looked at it, and like Cliff sent me pictures. They were tailgating right out there. There's an Irish bar right there that's good for them. Like they just literally 10 times their annual income by
good
having
planning right there.
Mm-hmm. And that little Irish bar, I can't remember what it's called. I know Cliff will text me. That thing has been there forever. Like it's kind of the bar you'd go to before a Blues game sometimes. And like when Ballpark Village wasn't there, sometimes you'd walk down there to go have a couple of pre-gamers before you'd go to Busch Stadium. So that little bar's been there forever. And now all of a sudden, every time the soccer club's in town, they're going to make a lot of money. So good for them. And then also, now I'll kind of keep my eyes on the Chicago Red Stars to see if Ella and that crew is winning some matches. So, all right, I got them on both sides, north and south. If I've ever had a reason to like soccer, it's right stinking now.
I brought it right to you.
Boom. All right, we're going to do our Big Ten draft bottom of the hour. I know everybody tease that thing because everybody's going to want to know what's going to happen in that thing, which we never know from year to year who wins. We don't. I don't even think we come back on Monday and say, "Hey, congratulations to Derek Piper on winning." I don't think.
I don't remember saying that to the lawn, but he is very adamant that he won. I'm gonna have to dig through the archives.
I was gonna say we may have to send Kyle back to do some research on that show and then track the tournament. Who won the tournament? Iowa. Man, they're playing pretty well right now, aren't they?
Although they just lost at home to Nebraska in their regular season finale.
That's right.
But they did go a wild comeback against Michigan State, then went to Indiana and blasted them in Bloomington. But the final game of the season, Northwestern once again being that thorn in the side because it changed Iowa from being – Kyle brought up a great point, so I'm kind of stealing Kyle's stat here. But Iowa would have been the 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament just with a win at home against Nebraska instead of the 5, and we'll have to play tomorrow.
Holy cow. That's crazy how the fluctuation of one game, when we would do that little simulation and Kyle would mark down the winners, and just if you changed one game, like Illinois was going to be either a 9 seed or get a double bye by one Purdue game or something.
Right. Indiana could have been a 2 or an 8.
Yeah, and heading into that last game, Northwestern-Rutgers, if Northwestern won, they would get the 2 seed, which they did. If they had lost, they would have been the 9 seed.
Oh, my goodness. Can we go through just some of the weird, Ohio State is a 13 seed.
To see Ohio State and Wisconsin on a Wednesday, 12 seed Wisconsin, 13 seed Ohio State is just, it's kind of jarring.
And then, of course, Northwestern is a 2. I just cannot get my head around that. Can I tell you this just flat out, and I shouldn't have any reason to act like this or think like this? I love Illinois' draw. I love it. I just think Penn State, I know they can, but I just can't see them. Here's the reason I say this. Penn State is seated lower than you, 3 spots lower than you, despite demolishing you twice. So in other words, there is a floor and a ceiling to Penn State. We just happen to see the ceiling twice. Now, are we part of the reason for that? Yes, right? We're the one providing the ladder for them to get up there, essentially, by not checking threes, letting Jalen Pickett do his thing. So I'm not dumb. I don't need anybody cursing me out right now. I understand Illinois had a big part of that, but I also then don't understand why, if they're that good, why are you the 10th seed? So, which tells me you should beat this team, right? You can beat this team, and you should. And then I am all about facing Northwestern as a 2 seed in the second round to get to Saturday. I love it. I know you had Brad Evans on, and I heard it. In your mind, Derek, if we moved all the way to Saturday and played Indiana, let's say you lose that game, or you played Maryland, 7?
It will matter what happens to some of those teams projected in front of you, of course. but I think that you'll have a decent chance for a 7 by getting to Saturday, and for sure if you were to beat Indiana and get to Sunday, you'd at least be a 7. You could feel pretty good about getting off that 8-9 line, which is really important. And I know Brad mentioned if they were to win the Big Ten tournament, they would at least most likely be a 6. I don't think they're going to get to a 5.
Okay.
Iowa was a 5 last year, but Kyle mentioned their net ranking was in the 20s going into the tournament. Illinois, of course, like 34th or something like that.
It was actually 15.
Oh, jeez.
Kyle, did you study at all yesterday?
No, he doesn't. Okay. He doesn't do any work outside of here.
Yeah.
All he does is watch Northwestern highlights and
break down Coleman Hawkins' defensive efficiency. That was his best show ever.
He's cutting into my vibe because I was always the most well-researched guy coming in here.
Wasn't even close.
And now Kyle's just totally stepping on my toes.
Yeah, he is.
Outshining us all.
Derek could literally, as he pulled up next to the Philo Tavern at 2:57, he could glance at one thing and be better prepared for the show than me. Now he's got to raise his bar because Kyle is bringing it.
It's true.
Hey, little competition helps.
It's great.
Meanwhile, I'll be right here.
Are we overlooking? Obviously, Penn State is a tough matchup, and we've seen, like you said, the ceiling of Penn State.
I know
when Pickett's going off, when they're making threes, and they still have a lot to play for. I know Brad, and I think that Illini fans can take a little bit of comfort in the fact that bracketologists are kind of putting Penn State in a, even if they lose, they're probably still in the tournament.
Wow.
Of course, there could be some teams like a North Carolina that goes on a run. Wisconsin, if they win, all of a sudden they're in the tournament. Michigan, if they make some noise, it could really make the bubble a little bit harder to make it. But Penn State has some urgency to win this game. They know that for sure if they win, they're in.
Wow.
Are we overlooking Northwestern?
Yeah, I knew where you were going. And
I think it's the gut reaction of just the perception of this team.
That's exactly right.
For years and years and years is that Illinois should always beat Northwestern.
Yep. And they beat you double figures there and had you down double figures here.
18 points at half.
So I'm totally overlooking Northwestern. Totally. Just because of, I even tweeted that out. I'm like, second round Northwestern's just Northwestern. Win. And that's so unfair to them this year because all they've had to do, all they've done all year is prove everybody wrong. I mean, Chris Collins, Big Ten Coach of the Year, right?
Yes.
I just saw Chris Lowry. My buddy was Big Ten Assistant Coach of the Year.
Yes, he
How
was.
the hell do they vote on that? Nothing against CeeLo. I'm glad he won it. But how do you pick an Assistant Coach of the Year? What? Yeah, but I'm happy for Chris because he's a wonderful man. So, no, I'm definitely overlooking Northwestern.
They kind of owned Illinois for 3 out of 4 halves this year, too.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And it's just that we don't know,
I know
which version of Illinois is going to show up.
You got to love me coming in and saying, I love this draw when Penn State and Northwestern dominated you 7 out of 8 halves in basketball this year.
I get it, though, because one of the alternatives was if Indiana would have fallen in overtime to Michigan, you would have been playing Indiana on Thursday, and then if you won, you played Purdue. As the alternative, or if Iowa would have beaten Nebraska, then Iowa would be sitting there waiting for you as the 2 seed versus Northwestern. Much rather play Northwestern than Iowa.
I would too.
That's kind of the way that we've thought, but this is a very
good
tough Northwestern team. Boo Buie has shown that he can light you up. Don't know the status of Jaden Epps. I don't think he's going to play tomorrow. I doubt that we'll see Jaden this weekend.
I hope we see him a little to get him kind of the ready to roll for the NCAA.
You would hope.
But I just thought of something. Can I say I think Illinois has the perfect draw in this thing? Because I feel like you're playing a Penn State team that overachieved horribly twice against you. Then you're playing a Northwestern team that I think you're more athletic than. And haven't we heard all about when the postseason rolls around?
Mm-hmm.
And I do like, and we're going to get to this, I do like the idea of Illinois being able to, you kind of understood what Illinois was last year defensively, and they were really good. But I kind of like the idea that we can shift a little bit, put Coleman, do what Coleman does, and stuff like that. But here's why I say this. And Kyle, you and Derek, let me know if you think I'm crazy. I do not want an 8 or a 9 seed in the NCAA tournament. I do not want that. So you either need to go on a run where you win 2 games in our mind, right? If you win 2 to get up to a 7, you think? Or Brad thinks you got to beat Indiana?
It'll depend on what happens as far as the projected 7s right now. But you'd give yourself a legit chance at a 7 if you win 2. You might need to beat Indiana to solidify it, but that would put you in the legitimate mix for 1 if you win those 2 games.
Now, on the flip side of that, if you lose to a Penn State team that is on the bubble and they then would have beaten you 3 times, I think that's crappy enough that you drop to a 10.
Potentially.
I don't know whether I want to roll the dice on Illinois winning 3 games in this Big Ten tournament or just say, screw it, lose to Penn State by double figures and drop to a 10 in the NCAA tournament. I'm dead serious. I do not want that 8 or 9.
As far as the matchups go, I get where you're going.
I don't like a 4, I don't like an 8, and I don't like a 9.
Yeah. At some point, this team needs to build some momentum.
That is true.
They need to be able to come off of a second half against Purdue where they storm back from 24 down and get something going to where we actually can believe, and not to say they can't just show up in March and get it done, but
right.
There's pressure on them. I know, like you mentioned, and the team has talked about it throughout. We're built for March. We got, as far as the makeup of this team, we're more versatile and everything. Yeah. Like I said in my article, it's time to prove it.
It is. It is.
And they need to have better starts. Does that mean taking Dane Dange out of the starting lineup? Mm-hmm. Do they need to press some in the first half and before desperation mode?
I loved that part of your article. Because what's the one thing we've talked about this season in terms of a team like Penn State? Part of the reason, or maybe the biggest reason, that they are able to then go on and just demolish you is that you've given them every positive thing you can give them. You've given them a fast start. They're watching the ball go through the bucket. And you're not scoring on the other end, and your defense really hasn't been that great against it. So the next thing you know, you've given belief to a team that is, wow, did I just Tim Beckman.
Tim Beckman, yeah.
But especially here, like in Champaign, you've given now belief to a team that usually comes in, and I'm talking anybody, although Penn State's really honestly had a pretty good – they've had a pretty good recent future here, or recent history here at Champaign. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. You're giving a team that normally on the road, you're just kind of waiting for something bad to happen. And then usually it does, and then you're pretty much done. Although Illinois proved that wrong against Purdue.
It's true.
This is a weird year.
You let them build way too much confidence, which now I think doesn't even need to happen for Penn State. They're going to come out of the gates and kind of be licking their chops again in Illinois. Not to expect like this team is going to be hungry to beat us, and you would hope that actually translate in an inspired start for Illinois.
Yeah, I agree.
If they follow the same script and get down, they've been down double figures in 4 of the last 7 games at halftime, which is wild.
I read that and just laughed. Shout out to Duran, hungry like a wolf. You said something about hungry. I just thought of that. Does Illinois, how much of a factor will the crowd be for Illinois? Because every time Illinois has played in the United Center, they've had a really good record there, including a couple of titles. And obviously, as it should be, they always have the home court advantage, if you will. Do you think a lot of Illini fans will be there for this team?
I think there'll be a good turnout. Okay. And in comparison to what's going to show up for Penn State, yeah, there's going to be a large contrast as far as Illinois having a lot more punch with the crowd and try to capture that momentum early in the game and feed off of that, and that you're feeling like you're playing in front of a home environment. We saw that out in Vegas as far as that is a way that Illinois really used that to their advantage in that game. I thought they had a decent turnout against Texas at Madison Square Garden as well. But like you said, Chicago usually brings out a strong contingent. I think there will be one. Of course, our own Kyle Tosk will be in the building on Friday.
Let's go.
With his dad. Please, Illinois, show up and have a reason to still be there so that Kyle and a lot of fans can get out there on a Friday night. I think that would be a really fun environment, Illinois versus Northwestern. Don't get me wrong, like Northwestern doesn't pack a lot of people into that building over there at Welsh Ryan, and a lot of times it's for the opposing team, like when Illinois, Purdue, Indiana comes to town. But they've had good turnouts for their game. A lot of excitement around that program.
Okay.
I think that they would get a decent amount of fans on the other side on that Friday night matchup, and it could be not a bragging rights, like let's split the crowd in half Northwestern, half Illinois, because Indiana would be playing that night. There'll be a big turnout for the Hoosiers too, but I think that could really be an interesting dynamic of having that crowd punch. And man, if we're really projecting this thing out, how about Illinois fans against Indiana fans on a Saturday?
Kyle, are you sticking around for that?
Not planning to, but maybe if they advance, we'll have to see.
You have to. I mean, you just have to. Yeah, and you're right about Northwestern and that fan base, because look at Illinois football. Look how many Illinois fans made the trip to Tampa and outdid Mississippi State. And Mississippi State's a team that plays in bowl games all the time. So maybe they just got to the point where it's like, we're going to skip this one this year because we've been the last 3 years, or we know we'll go the next 2. And I mean, this is a Northwestern team where I know they finally made the NCAA tournament. What was that, 5 years ago or something? But yeah, I mean, this is extra motive. I mean, this is an extra motivation kind of thing for them. Whereas for Illinois, I mean, I know that we went through that drought. Ugh.
Think about this, like we know it's a little bit different as far as like the Cubs and all the years not making the World Series, but Northwestern in their history have literally gone to one NCAA tournament. They're about to go to their second. So if there's any time for casual Northwestern fans or obviously the diehards to come out and support their team and have a reason to be really fired up, it's now when they're a 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament.
Jump on board.
But Kyle, as far as you being there on Friday, if Illinois is still playing, you just got to find the fan base that gets upset.
Yep.
Because someone's going to lose a game they shouldn't, and then their fans are going to be so peeved as they go to their car that they'll be willing to dish their tickets.
They don't even care for the money.
Not face value.
No, you're right. I mean, they don't even care for the money at that point. They're just so mad that, like an Iowa fan, let's say they lose to Wisconsin. Like, how in the hell did we lose to the bat? Here, you can have my ticket. I don't want it. I think you're right. I can't see Kyle as an overly aggressive dude hunting tickets. And I say that because I'm not either. So my brother would be the guy that would go, like Lance would just go up to anybody and be like, hey, so you guys are done, right? You're not playing anymore. So what do you want, 20? I got a 10 and a 20. I'll give you $30. And and so I'm over in the corner just hiding. I'm like, oh my God.
We'll just give Kyle a little sign to wear around his neck that says, I need tickets.
There you go.
just totally go up to him and say, I've never in my life been to a Big Ten tournament, and I'm a college kid. I just don't really have the money to go. That's what you need to do.
I'll give that
a try.
The
sympathy angle?
Yeah, just totally go.
Now, Illinois will probably just lose to Penn State, and this won't matter. So.
Yeah. My parents moved to Norway and didn't invite me along, so now I live down by the Billy Goat Tavern down there. There's a little shack. They feed me the scraps out of the Billy Goat. And all I've ever wanted to do my entire life is just go to a Big Ten tournament game. I think that would work. I think
one angle to try.
I mean, you could try it with one fan. If it doesn't work, then go a different route.
You try the aggressive in your face. You guys are done. Give me your tickets. That doesn't work. Then you're like, help me, please. I'm poor.
Then you wake up after you've just been punched by an Ohio State fan. It's like, okay, that didn't work. Real quick before we get to the bracket, Brad Underwood yesterday on this Big Ten tournament.
Now we head to Chicago for what I think is going to be one of the all-time great postseason tournaments. I've never seen a conference schedule go down to where every game was meaningful on the last day or pretty close to it. The last game, the winner became a 2 seed, or if they had lost, could have been a 9. I think that speaks volumes to the competitive nature of this league, evenness of this league.
It's crazy how, and you just described that not long ago. It's amazing. All right, when we come back, we are going to do the Big Ten bracket. And what McLean didn't realize is that Game Day Spirit is sponsoring the Big Ten bracket. Whoever wins of the three of us, $1,000 shopping spree at Game Day Spirit. Thank you, McLean. You are awesome.
I didn't know there was this much on the line.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Actually, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I better not say. Yeah, I better not say that. Unless McLean says, nope, I'll give you each $5 towards. What's it? Why does it always remind me of the Horrible Bosses? Okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I need $50,000. Well, I mean, we don't have $50,000. If I'm going to do this, I need $50. I don't understand your negotiating skills. That's so funny. All right, listen, when we come back, though, Game Day Spirit is sponsoring, at least. Game Day Spirit, 2 locations, Neal and Green, GameDaySpirit.com. They've got everything you need. Golf is coming around soon, I think. Although it's supposed to be like snowing in Chicago and cold here. But go get you a nice Illinois golf shirt to get rolling, and you'll be repping essentially a team that might win a national title in golf. I'm high on this team, man. I am so high on this team. All right, we're back. It is The Drive.
Winter is in full swing, and at Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, they want to help you upgrade and save. When you buy a Lennox home comfort system, you get a choice. Decide between a free water heater or a $500 Visa gift card. No qualifications necessary, and 0% financing is available. Give Dogtown a call today at 217-841-4728. Schedule a free in-home consultation and take advantage of this great sale. Dogtown Heating, Air, and Plumbing, your home's best friend.
Invested in our community since 1908. Hi, this is Todd Durakan with First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Maybe you've attended an event at one of the more than 50 organizations First Federal supported last year. We help make our community a better place, and we invite you to visit us and discover better banking for yourself. Experience the exceptional, friendly service from our knowledgeable staff. Speak with real people, not a recording during business hours. We're never too busy for you. Hey, if you're not already banking with us, give us a try. We think you'll love it here. 356bank.com. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. NMLS 435-120.
Thinking of selling your home? Today's market is crazy, but one way you can be sure to stand out is by replacing your old flooring with new hardwood. And the best place to do it is Carpet Weavers in Champaign. Carpet Weavers boast the industry's best brands, including Shaw, Mohawk, Paramount, and more. When it comes to natural beauty and a rich quality, nothing beats new flooring from Carpet Weavers. And they have financing options for your budget, so you can always afford the floor you truly want. Increase the value of your home by installing new, high-quality options from Carpet Weavers. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
Are you looking for a better job in a dynamic family-owned company? Altamont Company is hiring, searching for a few great people to join operations in Thomasboro or Rantoul. Altamont offers you a full-time position, not part-time, with available shifts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., and Monday through Thursdays, 8 p.m. to 6:30 a.m., offering benefits including health and dental and simple IRA retirement plans. Available jobs at Altamont Company include hand sanders and wood prep. No experience is necessary. Altamont trains on site. Apply online at altamontco.com. Resumes welcome at hr.altamont@gmail.com. On-site applications available. 901 North Church in Thomasboro. Altamont Company, an equal opportunity employer.
John, you remember what you were doing, say, about 10 years ago?
About as good as recalling what happened last week.
Right. Well, if you purchase, say, a dishwasher at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World 9 years and 364 days ago, it'd still be covered.
By the famous 10-year protection plan, of course.
Well, it's included with most purchases at Dick Van Dyke. And according to one Google reviewer, they still had unmatched prices and helpful people who delivered and set up the appliances without hassle.
The review mentions that they shopped around, did the comparison, and still found the best value at Dick Van Dyke.
So can you really not recall what you did last week?
Can you?
Now that I think of it, not really.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases, and we still beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Hey Illini fans, it's your girl Chiney Ogwumike. Catch Lante and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Uh-oh. I think Lying Lon is going to get called out here on the air.
You're my hero, Kyle.
Lindy Lushin just told us one of the best stories ever, but I don't think we're supposed to repeat it on the air. Nothing dirty. Nothing dirty. Just Yeah, I better not. I better not. All right, it is The Drive with Tay and Piper. Lonte, Derek Piper, Kyle Tosk, about ready to spend his final day at SJ Broadcasting and part of The Drive. So probably your last 25 minutes of listening to Kyle, because he's going to essentially prove that I did not win last year's Big Ten bracket.
No, I'm not sure about that.
Because hold on, I've got a chance here.
Derek had Iowa last year from
Guys,
my research.
let's go to Arizona, where they are now picking up votes from Gallatin County, where they actually had voting booths.
Actually, I take it back. I think he did win.
Ah, crap!
Really? So he had Iowa, who won it, and Michigan State, who was in the semifinals. And you had Purdue, who made the championship but lost to Iowa.
Ow.
So I don't think you were able to make that up.
I think it did come down to you and I, because I think I remember the disgust in Trevor's voice. Like, who did Trevor have? Did all of his teams like
Wisconsin, Michigan, Penn State, and Maryland? That does not sound like a group that did anything last year.
Because I think he basically texted us like on Friday or something and said, all right, you guys have fun trying to figure out who's going to win, because he was like out. He checked out already. So, yeah, I'm guessing the Iowa victory in the championship gave Derek the championship.
You said it with enough confidence earlier in the show that I just believed you. You said that you won, and if it wasn't for Kyle's due diligence, I would have just accepted it as fact.
Congrats, Derek.
Everything is awesome.
Derek has to use Iowa to win. What a freaking traitor. He's a Hawks fan.
Don't put that out there.
I'm really good on those jingles things.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I'm literally patting my own back on that. All right, let's get rolling.
You got to find a win somewhere.
Sorry
about that.
I told somebody one day, they were like, you know what I love the best about Piper? He has the best, like, one-liners. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I can't keep up with the pun thing because he dominates that game. All right, how are we doing this scoring-wise?
So we're going to have it weighted towards the back end. So if you are able to pick the winner, you're going to get rewarded 4 points for a win on Sunday, 3 points for a win on Saturday, 2 points for a win on Friday, 1 point for both Thursday and tonight's games.
Here's what I need somebody to do, but not just like literally pause for like 5 seconds and then do this. I need a listener to send in a number between 1 and 50. So you can't look at the line. You're not looking at it, right?
Nope.
Text line, Kyle. So the three of us are going to throw out a number between 1 and 50. And then based on what the first listener that sent in that number, that's how we'll figure out who goes first, second, and third. Does that make sense?
Yep, sounds good.
So I'm going to assume that somebody at least by now is typing in a number and sending it. Kyle, you're the young one. I'll let you go first.
I'll go 10. I'll go low.
Okay. And we can't Price is Right it. Like, you're not allowed to go 11, Derek.
Well, I was going to pick 12.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cheap. But
I mean, if it's a single digit, I'll win.
That's
and
true.
If it's not,
That's true.
I'll take 12.
Okay, well then, I'll go 30 then. Right?
You could have really screwed me and took 13.
I know, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. All right, so do we have anybody that sent in?
We have 37.
Wow!
Lon's the winner.
And you understood I did not look at the...
You did not, no.
So I guess technically I could pick where I want to pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because, I don't know, this year.
Right, exactly. I think I'll take the third pick.
Because you get the...
That's what I would have done.
The snake.
Snake draft, yep.
I'll take the snake. Who was... Oh, so you'd be second.
I will pick... I'll pick first.
Awesome. Okay.
I'll take second then.
Okay. That's big of you, Kyle.
I probably should have... Knowing the depth of this league, I probably shouldn't have done that by taking the first pick.
Yeah, but you'll get what? 1, 2, 3,
That's right.
4,
Well, you're
5.
probably
You
going
get
to
like 1,
take
6,
who I
7.
would have picked based on our discussions from yesterday.
Yeah, Kyle and I have shared a little bit of notes here.
Isn't it funny how you just continue to, or you just completely start over analyzing your draft position every time we do this for our fantasy football where we don't know each year where we're picking, and someone will like, all right, Lon, you're 6th. Oh, that's the one spot I didn't want to be, and it's like, Lon, come on. It's just funny how immediately. All right, do we need music for this?
Let's play the college basketball music.
Wait, that one's only. Oh, no, I'm not doing that yet. I got to get into.
And before the first pick, we're going to catch a quick break. We're back on CBS.
That would have been the perfect time to do that. Dang it, that one's only a minute 8 too. Do we have a college basketball? We got the football.
There's an ESPN, is it CBB?
Oh, look at you. All right, so with the first pick in the 2023 Drive with Tay and Piper Big Ten men's basketball tournament.
Yep.
Kyle, you got to write these down.
I've got a sheet in front of me, too.
Derek Piper selects.
It's going to be a popular pick around here.
So you guys have already discussed this, and I
a
noticed
little bit.
that Piper's filled out a bracket.
I have. Well, I had to do it for WCIA yesterday.
Ah, got it. Oh, that's right. Because
I wore the suit and everything. Yep.
You look good in the suit.
Appreciate it. Last year, picking a hated rival got me the championship. So I'm going to go back to the well. This one I went west. This time I'm going east.
Okay.
The Indiana Hoosiers, the 3 seed in the Big Ten tournament. I've been a pretty big believer in this team. They haven't come in red hot. They obviously got scorched by Iowa there in Bloomington. They outlasted Michigan in the regular season finale, a really good game in overtime. Love the way Shafino's playing.
Okay.
Obviously, Trace, two-way impact for him. I'm a little hesitant. Will Galloway and Miller Kopp be good enough for me? And also, Race Thompson hasn't been playing all that well. But
it really hasn't had that good of a year.
I'm looking for IU out of the bottom half of this bracket. I think there's going to be a little craziness in the top half, so I'll go IU on the bottom.
I think that is the best pick to make in this tournament. Would you agree, Kyle?
I agree. I would have taken Indiana 1.
Same here.
And
all right, Kyle.
Now second, I not quite sure what to do because I feel like I have to take Purdue here.
Yeah.
But I don't love that because I think Michigan could beat them, and I think either Michigan State or Iowa could beat them too. But I'm going to take them because that's the team that's the safest bet. I mean, I think Zach Edey can carry them to the championship at least.
I would agree. I just came to the realization that I really didn't spend any time looking at this. I'm starting to worry now. I had all that time out on the beach to study for this. All right, so
you got 2 picks.
I think the natural one, because I need as many points as possible, and they're playing good basketball, even though, as you mentioned, they just got tripped up. But here's the problem. If I take them, then that maybe screws me with my next pick because I'm not on the Northwestern bandwagon. Well, Michigan beat Rutgers. Iowa should win that. Oh, I could take Maryland and go after you. I could make this personal. I'm going to take Iowa.
All right.
And I'm going to take Illinois.
There it is.
And you know why? Because
just as Mike from Sedora said, if anybody takes Illinois, they're living in a dream world.
The reason behind it, as weird as this season has been, why wouldn't a 7 seed win the Big Ten tournament?
It's fair.
What's the lowest seed to have ever won? Was it a 6?
Have to pull that up.
I'm trying to think back. Of some of the...
Penn State in a lot of years has made a run as a high seed. I don't know that they've never won it.
Okay.
The lowest to ever win it was in 2017, an 8 seed Michigan. That was in D.C. Showed up with practice uniforms. Beat Illinois, and then went on to win that tournament. The following year, Michigan as a 5 seed won it. Iowa last year was a 5 seed. So we've had there was a big run through the middle of the 2000s where 1 seed, 2 seed, 1 seed, 1 seed, 3 seed, 1 seed, 1 seed, 1 seed. Recently, it's been 8 seed, 5 seed, 1 seed, 2 seed, 5 seed as the winner.
Okay. All right, I like my picks. I like Iowa and Illinois.
Kyle, you're back up.
I will gladly take Michigan State here because that's the team that I was debating taking.
I didn't think you were going to be able to get them here.
Over Purdue. Now, the only issue with that is that I'm backing myself into a corner here because Michigan State and Purdue could face each other. I can only have one chance at getting a team to the championship.
And that's why I couldn't take them after I took Iowa, because it's like, well, they play each other.
But I don't like anyone enough on the other side to take, so I'm going to take Michigan State.
Fair enough. 2 for Piper.
I'm excited about this first pick. I have them making some noise. I do think they'll run out of gas at some point because they've come in playing 3 straight overtime games.
Oh.
I'm going to take Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan has a lot to play for, need to win at least 2 games to feel good about getting into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
I think they beat Rutgers, and then I have them beating Purdue. I like their matchup with Dickinson inside. Their young guards have played awesome. Buffkin, Jet Howard, and Doug McDaniel.
Man, they've got the talent.
They have the talent. It's whether, let's be honest, if they're in a close game, will they win because Juwan has not succeeded in dialing up a lot of good stuff for them.
That's fair.
And then also, are they just gassed at this point? They went to double OT against Illinois. Before that game, they had an OT game against Wisconsin, and then they played OT at Indiana.
They've had a little rest.
A little bit. So I like Michigan.
I like what you've got.
My next pick is
right away. I love all of your teams better than mine.
Yeah.
Immediately.
This next one's tricky.
Okay.
I could take Maryland and kind of have a safety net.
Yeah, that's true.
For either Maryland or IU, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I could pick Nebraska and try to see if they can catch a little fire, win against Minnesota, upset Maryland.
Ooh.
They've won 5 of 6, and they've beaten some pretty good teams. They beat Iowa. They beat Michigan State.
Yeah.
No, they didn't beat Michigan State in
Didn't they
Lincoln.
win a couple of those on the road?
Yes. I know they beat Rutgers. Rutgers isn't trending all that well.
No, they're not.
I'm going to go Penn State.
Okay. That's probably a really good
Just in case Lightning strikes 3 times and they beat Illinois again, because I think they could beat Northwestern.
Yeah, I agree.
And I just think they're a team that if they get in the NCAA tournament, which I've said week after week, I want to see that because of Jalen Pickett, because of the way they play, their three-point shooting. It wouldn't shock me if they got in and went to the Sweet 16.
I'm with you. And if that, excuse me, I hate choking on water, huh? Can you imagine if you had Penn State and Indiana in the Final Four there, and then you're guaranteed
a trip to Sunday.
I essentially need Illinois to win that first game. Kyle, you need it too, to see your one-day alma mater play in person. All right, Kyle, who you got? Wait, is this? Yeah, it's back to you.
Is it? Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
I got to take someone from the bottom here.
So we still have Maryland, Nebraska, Minnesota, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Rutgers on the board.
Northwestern.
And Northwestern, sorry. Overlooking the Wildcats once again.
Yeah.
This is tough.
I hope you don't take one of these teams. That's all I'm going to say.
Minnesota. I hope you don't take them either.
I will not be taking Minnesota. I think I am going to go with... I'm going to take Northwestern.
Okay.
To get the 2 seed with my third pick, I feel fine about it. I don't love them. I think they could lose to Illinois or Penn State, but I'll ride it out with Northwestern. I think they could at least get to Saturday.
I'm running my pickup to the commissioner with Maryland as my next pick. I was hoping you wouldn't take Maryland, because then it kind of sandwiched me to have to take Northwestern, which I could have been in trouble. And I'm okay with this, guys. I'm okay with taking Rutgers. Defense travels, and I think maybe they figure it out, and I love Peichel as a coach. He's going to outcoach Juwan. So if it is close,
fair enough.
I think they win that, and then they've already won at West Lafayette. Rutgers.
They have a lot to play for, too. I know Lenardi right now has them as a last 4 team in.
Woo!
They've lost 6 of 8, but I do agree. Peichel's a really good coach, and That will be a very huge game on the bubble tomorrow, Rutgers and Michigan, 11 a.m.
I have a team in every game tomorrow. That means I probably won't be getting a lot of productive things done at the office. If you need to get a hold of me, do it before 11. That's all I'm saying. All right, Kyle, back to you.
This one's pretty easy for me. I'm going to take Nebraska.
Oh, come on.
I think I get a guaranteed 1 point because I think they will beat Minnesota tonight. And then, hey, maybe they could knock off Maryland as well. I could see that happening. So I'll take the Cornhuskers.
Okay.
Down to Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Minnesota.
How funny is it that Ohio State and Wisconsin are still... I think I know the team you're going to go with, which would make sense, but...
Wisconsin has a ton of motivation going into tonight. That's going to be a 5:30 tip on BTN.
Yep.
Lenardi has them just outside of the tournament. They have to win to get in. I don't think they do.
What?
Ohio State.
Holy cow. I thought you would take Wisconsin because they have, you know how they are.
Should.
It's such a goofy way that they play.
I know.
I like that pick, though, Ohio State.
Yeah,
they seem like the team that just completely spiraled, but they have so much talent that they just kind of get hot for a couple games.
Between Michigan and Ohio State, those two teams, I mean, they're full of talent. If they get hot, they could easily make a run, right? I don't think there's any doubt about that. And Penn State. I love Derek's team. I really do.
Thank you.
Here's what we'll do. We'll write them down to who all has what, and then I know I'm already third. Who you got winning this thing? Either Piper or Kyle. Send it in, 359-2255.
Should we recap?
Well, we're going to do it after this break.
Let's do that.
Yep. Let's take a quick break. Back with that. It is The Drive.
At Busey Bank, we're proud to serve our local community through financial guidance and community investment. Offering sound advice and actionable insight, Busey builds financial strength, supports homeownership dreams, and offers customized lending strategies, connecting with our neighbors to build stronger communities. Busey Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini.
Here's what one shopper said about Pard's Western Shop in Urbana, 306 North Maple, between Maine and University. He said, sure, you can find boots at some big box stores, but nothing like Pard's selections. They're unique, they're local, and they have an excellent store. So many people that visit Pard's in Urbana say the same thing. Pard's in Urbana, 306 North Maple. You can find the best boots in the world and shop local. Visit pards.com, pards.com.
Hi, this is Steve from Good Vibes.
And this is Luke Goody from men's basketball.
Luke, it's great to have you back on the floor. We hope to see a lot of you in March.
I was pretty sure we get postseason games this year. I didn't want to miss out.
Most of us will be glued to the TVs for the tournament.
I don't want to watch it on TV.
Right, you want to have TV watching you and Terrence, Matt, and the whole crew.
I watched plenty of footage of our games, win or lose, plus whoever's next.
Too bad you can't watch those on a Sony OLED.
I know, right? I saw how great those look in your store, and they're so thin.
The Sony OLEDs have the best picture, the best sound, the easiest operation. We love them.
I saw your repair bench. Can your team really work on those if they need it?
Good Vibes has been a Sony service center forever. You can fix them, install them, and explain why you want this one versus that one. We know Sony like Coach knows X's and O's.
I believe they're good, but aren't they expensive?
Short answer, no. Come into Good Vibes in March. You can get a 55-inch Sony OLED for $12.99 and deals on sizes up to 83-inch.
Well, that sounds good. Game films probably would look better. Speaking of that, I gotta practice and, watch some more of that film.
Better you than me, Luke.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose because you'd do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Stevie J Broadcasting is looking for organizations that regularly distribute information regarding employment opportunities to job applicants or have job applicants to refer. If your organization would like to receive notification of job vacancies at our stations, please notify Human Relations at 101 East Washington in Philo, Illinois, 61864, or email hr@sjbroadcasting.com or by phone at 217-367-1195. SJ Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer encouraging minorities and and females to apply.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Max Kellerman. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. The Drive with Tay and Piper. You notice Tosk isn't part of that. I'm just mad at him because he had a better draft than I did. All right, let's break it down, Derek Piper and Kyle. What do we got? Start with mine because it's not going to win.
Lon's team is as follows: Iowa, Illinois, Maryland, and Rutgers.
Give me a reason why I could win this thing.
You could win this thing because you have the balance of the top.
That's true.
And the bottom. You get Illinois in the bottom half, a team that could really make some noise. Maryland, while they haven't had a ton of success away from College Park here recently, they have had some success in neutral site games. They almost beat Tennessee in a neutral.
Oh.
They beat Miami on a neutral in the non-conference play. So you have that possibility. And look, we all know what Illinois is capable of when they're playing the best basketball. Maybe they will finally click into place here.
And I think Iowa could run. I think Iowa could make a run like
we
they
saw
did
what
last
Iowa did as the 5 seed last year. They won the whole thing.
Can score with anybody.
Okay.
Kyle has Purdue, Michigan State, Northwestern, and Nebraska.
You've got 3 of the teams.
Who would have thought
playing on-
Northwestern and Nebraska would be 2 of my picks at the beginning of the year?
Kyle will be hoping for a Nebraska-Northwestern semifinal on Saturday.
Oh, my.
CBS will not. Jim
I was
Nantz
gonna
would not
say,
be looking forward to that.
Guess who would not be watching that either? Lante. Wow.
But I like my chances of a Purdue-Michigan State
Big time.
semifinal on the top.
Big time. Has there ever, speaking of that, has there ever been a Michigan State team less talked about?
Maybe last year's, but for good reason, because they weren't that good.
Yeah, they weren't. Isn't it funny? Like, I never hear about Michigan State.
I've been low on them all year, but now the way they're shooting the three, they've averaged in their last 4 games 12 made threes a game.
Man.
And Kyle brought up they're shooting 42% from 3 in Big Ten play. Tyson Walker, if you want good guard play this time of year, they got it with Tyson Walker, AJ Hoggard, even Jaden Akins. I swear, if they had a big man from the portal, like a legit starting big man,
which Izzo didn't want to do,
which he didn't want to do, we'd be talking about this team as one that could really go deep. And that's really the one hole I can really poke in them right now.
Did Brad Underwood mess up by not look? 2020's hindsight, or whatever. What is it? 50-50? Whatever it is. Obviously, you didn't know Jaden would be hurt right now. You didn't know Sky Clark was going to leave. You did know they were true freshmen. Is that going to be the most glaring hole going into the tournament? Either one.
I think it's part of it. I think kind of the collective whole, you thought this team would be a better 3-point shooting team than it is, and that's something that's really hurting you. I think collectively you wish you had more shot makers to open up the perimeter, because ideally you want Shannon to be able to go downhill and have that thing freed up. But, yeah, a veteran ball handler, because we saw Shannon really struggle. Brandon Newman was able to pick his pocket a number of times, and with Jaden on the shelf or possibly just coming back in time for the tournament, that's a big thing that we've kind of highlighted as a potential weakness. And then my team, Indiana, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State.
I like that team.
If Michigan could get bounced tomorrow, and so could Penn State if Illini fans have their way, and I could be hurting a little bit. I do like Indiana, but
you
never
made
know.
the right call there. How often has a 3 seed been the number 1 pick? Now, nobody's going back to research that. I'm just throwing that out there.
Who was the 3 last year? Because Illinois was the 1, and I don't.
Wisconsin
did he take Illinois
was
number
the
1?
2, right?
Yeah, Wisconsin would have been the 2.
Purdue could have been, because Purdue was the 3. They could have been number 1
That's
last
true.
year.
That's true. Yeah, interesting. All right. Man, these games start tonight.
They do.
Now, you're not going to be here tomorrow. You'll be in Chicago. Now, we're going to have you join us.
Sounds good.
Obviously, if you don't mind. But while you're here, what is the one thing that will tell you in the first 8 minutes of this game against Penn State that Illinois has a legit shot of winning this, or Illinois is probably going to win this game? Penn State missing threes?
Yeah, that plays into it. I think it's the matchup on Pickett and the lineup that you ultimately go with from the start. I think Brad needs to adjust the starting lineup. He needs to take Dane Danger out, in my opinion. Run with that lineup that's been your best with Hawkins at the 5. I'd throw Ty Rodgers in that mix and just have Ty guard Pickett. I know that Penn State wants to play to switches, but really with a bigger lineup, without Epps out there, as much as we like his playmaking or just ability to get in the paint, there's no small guard he can switch himself onto. So I think that it's having someone that can really get into Jalen and make things tough for him. And, heck, why not press him for a few possessions right off the bat?
Get the ball out of Pickett's hands.
Get the ball out of his hands, eat up some of that shot clock, because Shrewsbury runs some really